everyone, welcome back. This is Denise. Today, I'm kind of in the mood to make some atmospheric landscapes with my Masha's watercolors. So I have just taken a piece of the Hahnemühle 9x12 cold pressed watercolor paper and taped it off into fours so that I could do maybe just some kind of wild something. And I kind of want to play, you're going to see these over and over because I love them, and it's a good way to see what these colors were doing. And I kind of want to play in maybe this color range, and without going to watch the video, I don't even remember what I used. This one right here, which I put them in plastic so I'd quit touching stuff, but that one kind of right there is where I'm kind of thinking I might want to play today, and I'll keep on revisiting this over and over. Probably to play with different color combos. So I don't remember what that was, and I'll need to go watch that video again myself to see what I did. But just visually looking at it, I think I'm gonna play over here in, okay, this is funny too. Before I do that, I lost my paintbrush, and in a couple of videos that you've seen recently, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I'm like, what have I done with it? I put it right there. My favorite one, the little cat tongue one. This is that 1/2" Princeton wash brush, which I'm going to use. Yeah, put it right there. Then I just couldn't find it anywhere. So anyway, thought that I would pull out, and I've named it wrong on here. This is Shadow Turquoise and Granite, because I like the way these granulate. That's kind of my reasoning there. And Flame. So I've pulled these colors out of my bigger 60-piece Masha's watercolor set so that I could kind of stay focused. Let's stay focused with my idea today. Okay, so that's the three I'm using. I like them because of their granulation properties. Got a cup of water here, and I want them to be tall, so I'm kind of painting them in that direction. And there's no rhyme or reason here. I'm just going to layer and play and just kind of see like what we get. I'm going to put a tiny bit of water on the top of these. You don't really need to spritz them down, but I'm going to do it a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna layer these kind of like we did with our little art totems, and I'm gonna let some of these layers hopefully dry, and we'll just kind of see like where we end up when we're done. No rhyme or reason here. I just wanted to kind of play and just see what could we get, just layering and having some fun. And I'm going to layer them in different ways, because then, you know, there might be one that I liked better than another one, and I wouldn't even have known it if I hadn't like kind of mixed these up a little bit. And I might let some layers dry and come back and layer again on top of that with a darker layer of that. I don't know. It's just play. And I like the way these granulate and the colors that come out of them, so that's why I'm gonna kind of let them do their thing, and hopefully we get something that we just did not ever even imagine or expect. These are already looking kind of fun. A little different than I had even in my mind. I don't know why. I have like a picture in my mind, and with photography I can hit it every time. With the art, I always end up with something not quite what I imagined in my mind, but I end up like somewhere super cool, so I don't worry about it. But it's just funny to me how in photography I can create exact scenes, but when I get to the painting, I don't know, I veer off into other directions. It's just funny. And on mine, I'm not trying to create anything specific like trees or anything like that, but you could, if that were like your thing, you could go ahead and create an actual landscape with trees and things. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so I feel like this is kind of where I wanted to go today with the landscapey things, but I want to do some mark making, so I'm going to let these dry and kind of do their magical separating and whatever it is that they want to do. And I could even come back in with some little water spritzes. I could come back in with some salt. Let's just do little spritzes and see if that's going to give us any texture that might be cool. And then we're going to let this dry and I'll be right back. Alright, I think we're mostly dry, so I'm going to start drawing and stuff on top of these. And I think I'm going to use, for sure, maybe my Zig Acrylista pen and the Zig Posterman, which that's my next favorite gold silver past the regular gold silver by Kuretake that I make, and these are made by Kuretake also, but they're a tiny bit different. But what I like about these is you can get them on blick, and I like the chisel tip rather than the bullet tip because I discovered when we were experimenting with these, you could get lots of different line weights and marks with the chisel tip. You could get the dot, you could get the bigger, fatter lines, you could get all kinds of fun stuff with the chisel tip. So I don't feel like I needed a bullet tip. These are a blick, and I put these on my favorites list. You can find that favorites list down there in the comments. But I think what I want to do is to just kind of come in here with some really interesting, just fun mark making. Doesn't have to be anything specific, but I want it to be something where, like this right here, for instance, maybe it would shine a little in the light. Maybe it's just a little tiny detail that you're not going to notice from far off, but it's kind of in there. I kind of want to do a little bit of that with this, just because I wanted to. And then I might come in with some other stuff, but I just kind of feel like this really fine, kind of lovely line is just a nice detail. Because I hadn't played with these much since you probably saw that art haul, because I work out in videos, like I work ahead. And so you're not always going to see me use a supply that maybe you saw in an art haul for a little while, because I'm that far out in new videos, but I post the art hauls immediately. So these, I just got them, but you're not going to see the videos for a while, but I want to play. And then you can just pump them to get more ink out of there. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit in love with this chisel tip because I can get lovely fine lines just like I can with my dip pen, and it's a lot less expensive than the dip pen, obviously, because you're just getting to buy a marker with ink in it. You can do these any way you want. You don't have to mark make in them. They could just be lovely atmospheric things. But I like the fun little mark making and stuff. So that's what I'm interested in today. It's all about experimenting, having a little bit of fun, maybe doing something that you wouldn't always do, just enjoying the moment. Maybe I want some gold dots. And when I do something like maybe a gold dot, I might actually just follow a specific color section, so it's got a nice starting point. Your choice on those, though. Just some fun stuff to think about and consider as you're playing. Ooh, way too much. Arr! Oh no, Oh no, I didn't want that. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, baby white to just kind of mix it in, but could I? Ooh, I'm just gonna mess that up completely. That's that same granite watercolor that is. I'm just gonna let that dry now that I've kind of swooshed all that in. We'll just see what that ends up as. This is why I like to do multiples, because then if I do something like that where I just kind of accidentally had too much ink out on the tip, I can kind of work it back in and it not be a big deal. Don't get upset if you're doing something amazing and it's the most amazing thing you've ever done and you have like an ink drop or something like that, like we just did. Look at it and think, okay, how could I fix this? I treat those as lovely little creative problem solving moments rather than devastating, I just ruined the most amazing thing I've ever created kind of moments. So I want you to don't get upset when you have like a weirdo oopsie, and I'm right there with you. I used to too. I'd have been like, let's just throw this away now that I did that. But now I'm like, okay, I did that, but how can I fix that? So we'll just watercolor it a little bit more and see if that will camouflage an ink drip that we had where we didn't expect it. And then I'll come back and ink dot in that area again. So maybe if we pump the ink to the end of the tip to get it fresh, we should dab it on our tape before we dab it on our paper like that. And I saw the big drip on the edge of the tip there. I don't know, my mind just went, let's just do it. And it went, oops, not a good moment. And now I've got some beam paint. I've got one color, it's a copper color. And those came in a random sketch box. And so I'm kind of wondering, could I get some good mark making with this copper watercolor or not? Well, we could just test it on a little piece of watercolor scrap. I've got little scraps. I'm kind of thinking like some kind of coppery dot or line or mark or something that will just be interesting. I don't know if that'll do what I want it to do though. I'm kind of wanting, it might. I mean, we could try it. So I just put some water in the tip of this pretty color. So I do kind of like marks like that. But is that the right mark for a landscape? Why not? Let's just do it. We're gonna make this like, we're gonna pretend like those are stones in a river. That's kind of where I'm going there. Maybe it's like stones in the riverbed. And I just want it to shimmer. I need some shimmer. Which is why I was thinking this coppery color might give me some shimmer. Because the other watercolor's dry on top of it, it should just sit on top really pretty. Okay, I'm feeling like that was a good choice. I'm kind of liking that, and as it dries, kind of blends in and gives a pretty shine. Okay, so I'm liking that. That was a beam watercolor, and it was a pretty coppery color called Wild Salmon. That's really pretty. That's a nice one to have for just some pretty little details. And now we're not quite dry over here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and dry it now. Okay, I'm really loving what the salmon's doing as it's dry, and that was just a little number 4 round Princeton Neptune. Alright, so now I can go back and finish our little dots and hopefully not have another ink accident. Ooh, it's all about some creative problem solving, folks. And then getting excited when you mostly fixed it. We'll call it fixed. I'm happy with fixing it. Do I want any silver in there? I mean, I got copper and gold, but I think I'm going to stick with the copper and gold now that I did that. Yeah, I love that one. Beam Paint. I think they're out of Canada. It's a handmade watercolor company. Now I need some other mark making. What do we need? I could use that pretty gray that we just got. I just got it. It's been a while. These are the Sketchbox dark gray. I kind of liked that dark gray. I could do this with graphite too, but I'm kind of thinking maybe some... Oh yeah, let's just do that. That's the Caran d'Ache Neocolor II crayon. In dark gray. Ooh, okay, I'm kind of liking that. That's a nice extra little detail. Ooh, I really like that. Good choice. Okay. Good choice, people. You're not going to know how you get to these good choices until you experiment and play like this. And then you're like, okay, I liked that way more than I even thought I would. And you might not like it, but that's okay. That's not the point of doing these. You know, some people are like, oh, I like that other whatever you did better than that. And I'm like, who cares? The point is to show up, to play, enjoy your art making time as you're going. Doesn't matter if you like what I made when we're done. Go make something yourself that you might like or enjoy or have some fun in the creation process. It's not about creating some masterpiece that I'm trying to sell to people. I'm showing up for my own art practice. Everything out there in the world is crazy at the moment, and this helps focus me. Like, it's like, okay, this I have control over. I can come to my art room, I can paint and have some fun with different art supplies, which is what I like to do, is experiment and create things that I never would have created otherwise. And then I can eat lunch, edit videos, and then I can go sit on my porch and swing and read in the afternoon, and it makes for a rather delightful day on the days that I manage to do that. That's my routine, which, in case you're wondering, yes, that's exactly what my routine on this day is. I'm gonna finish painting and playing. I'm gonna go out and have some lunch on the porch. Since it's not sweltering out there today, it's gonna be kind of pretty, maybe rainy later. Look how fun these are. And then I'm gonna eat some lunch and just have a delightful time. Kind of feel like I might be there for today. Do you think we're there? We could be there. I feel like we're there. Let's peel the tape and see where we're at. I'm gonna heat this just a tiny bit. This painter's tape does great, but every once in a while it grabs my paper. But this paper, for the most part, doesn't tear, but I have a couple times pulled it too fast. So we'll just help it along with the heat gun and see what we got. Whoa, these are such pretty colors. I love the way the Masha's ones granulate. Oh, these are so lovely. I could give these a deckled edge if I wanted. If I was going to do that, I should have left a bigger edge out here though. So I think I will cut these apart with my paper cutter. And I just have a Fiskars paper cutter. You can get it in any of the craft stores or the sewing stores usually. I think I'm just going to trim these up. They don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to get them. Kind of feel like I need a tighter edge because the outside's tighter. Let's just do it. I'm not looking for perfection, but you know, I might put these in an art journal. I might use these as little pieces that I frame and hang. I mean, there's no telling what I might do with these. There are a lot of, I keep everything. I make classes, so I use them as samples and examples and inspiration. And yeah, that wasn't quite on the right edge, but that's fine. Look how pretty these are. Oh my gosh. All right, this was a great paint day. And then when I go have some fun lunch and then go sit on the porch and enjoy the rest of the day, this just sets me up for a fun, lovely afternoon. Look at those. They're not exactly the same size. That's funny. Sometimes I just tape away and not be real exact because it's not a big deal to me if they're all the same size or not. That one is a little bit larger, but look how gorgeous these are. Oh my goodness, such a good day. Hope you enjoyed trying these techniques out. Had fun painting with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.